Welcome to Wales. The captain and I are here to explore Offa's Dyke, that ancient border between England and Wales, and the footpath that now runs along it from north to south. We're in Knighton, and eventually we're going to get to Monmouth or even Chepstow. So today we're going to go from Knighton to Kington, about 13 miles, and we're going to see the sights, the sounds, explore the atmos and the history of this amazing route. Thanks for joining us. We're going to enjoy the history, the sights and sounds, aren't we, Captain? Yep. Of this amazing place that none of us have ever been to. So we're both going to enjoy it. Thanks for joining me. So Knighton today to Kington, like I say, about 13 miles. We're basically the midway point of the route, heading south. 5 or 6 days away, we'll see how it goes. How are you doing, Captain?
Awesome.
Awesome, there you go. So after coming through that wood, you get a lot of height pretty quickly. It's a bit sweaty as soon as you start, but I think we're over the worst there, aren't we, Captain?
So you say.
So I say. So I can see the route just carries on, and we're going to gain maybe another 50 metres just alongside the golf course and the summit of the hill. It looks like it's called Frith on Ordnance Survey maps. And just as we're taking a look here, it's our first day. This is all looking rather rolling and beautiful and super. Yeah, I like that. Not the majestic peaks of Cumbria, but we haven't come here for that. So as you can see, visible part of the dyke, which was originally just an earth wall with a trench on the Welsh side. And we can just start to see it running all the way down here for a few hundred metres. Never seen this before. The trench side, the Welsh side of the dyke. Fantastic, it runs all the way down here into the next valley. Never thought I'd see something like this so early on. Amazing. There we go. So after a bit of a twiddle about just alongside the actual dyke itself there, we come through a couple of country lanes and then we're just heading along the Littleback B road just a little bit on the way to Dolly Green. So some lovely scenery so far, nothing too taxing on the old knees, and they are old. It looks like here we're going to walk along actually the top of the old earthwork dyke here. A bit of a ditch on the western side. So yeah, sometimes along it, sometimes next to it, but at this stage always in view of it. Well, I have to say 3 or 4 miles in, this is exactly the kind of terrain I was hoping for. The rolling hills, the lovely horizon to horizon views. Yes, it's a bit cloudy at the minute, but here and there just dotted with little things to see, the flocks of sheep, the flowers, the clumps of trees, and the remains of the earth wall between England and Wales, always just here to our right. Sometimes big, sometimes small, but once you're a couple of miles in, it's very, very evident once you leave Knighton heading south where it is. So sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller, and it's absolutely fantastic terrain, good underfoot, and beautiful views to the west. So like I said, if you're thinking of coming this way, and like us, you're two middle-aged sacks of blubber, and you're not too sure if you're as fit as a triathlete to come and do this, you've seen the way, the path underfoot. It's pretty straightforward stuff. If it's not grassy footpaths, it's little gritty tracks like this, and I have to say the gradient, apart from the start where we're straight up out of Knighton, this is very, very forgiving. And I think if this continues and you keep watching to find out, we'll see if it's as awesome this whole way. Yeah, once again here you can see very obviously what's left of the Dyke. So to our right, the west, as we head south, Wales, and to our left, England. And you can just see, if I just pause a moment, it just runs just a little bit of a dog leg there, and then along the edge of the trees there and over the brow. I'll indicate on the video and just have a closer look. So as you can see, some places, like I said earlier, easy to see. Here, bit of erosion, but for pretty much 1200-year-old built structure, I'm surprised to see it's still here over 1,000 years later, built in the 8th century, as it said on the information board back there. So typically the original one was 80 miles long, and it joined up along the borders of Wales with other more established and older Roman earthworks and other boundaries to create what is today the footpath along Offas Dyke. Look at that, in every direction. It's amazing. It's just oh, I love this.
It's just right.
Yeah,
In all aspects.
I think that's gonna come a calling, that squall over there.
It's actually greener than I thought it was going to be.
Me too. There's one right above us. Yeah. Well, there we go, Hawthorne Hills behind us, descent after that, bit of a streamer now, bit of farmland. So the texture changes again. I have to say that I think so far there's been absolutely marvellous. Bit of rain, bit of wind, just to blow the cobwebs away. Absolutely beautiful. So time for a breather. Captain and I found a little bench in the middle of nowhere, just next to that little river, and I have to say that so far we're about halfway, would you say? Something like that. Yeah. It's been brilliant, a lot of variety. Sometimes you can see the old earthwork dike, sometimes you can't. You come over the rolling hills between little copses of trees like those over there, the river like you've just seen, and then a little bit of farmland just here in the middle of the valley before we do a next ascent, gentle ascent. And the rain's come and gone, but I have to say that so far, if you're thinking of doing this, yeah, it's certainly a big thumbs up from me. What about you, Captain? Enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, takes a lot to impress the captain, so it's 2 thumbs up from us so far. I'm still amazed by the Dyke. You can just see here to the western side how deep the trench actually is and how high the mound of earth that they packed back was. And on top of it, rather than follow the natural contours at the bottom of this hill, they've dug it into the side of the hill in what appears to be more or less a straight line from there straight through and up and over the edge of the hill. That's a serious effort, rather than, as you can just see, just there following the lower, easier contours of the hill. They've gone, no, this thing is going to go straight along, straight up over the brow of the hill. So, like I say, it's only our first day, but I'm amazed at the effort's gone into it. And you can just see here the stuff they've dug out of the ground. These almost flat flint things, they've been piled here, and you can still see them in the wall, piled and then backfilled. And obviously over the several hundred years all these trees have come and grown. But it's amazing to see and imagine the sheer number of people, the time it took to dig, shift it, pile it here through what is essentially the brow of a hill. What, 300 meters high? Yeah. Exactly. Well, as we go along, it's starting to become more and more obvious just how dry this year's been. You can see the grass is very, very pale, a blob of green there, but the earth in the fields is just dust. And even in the fields in the distance, if you just have a look round there, yes, some of it's going to be wheat, but the whole place is very, very dry. Not what you'd expect. Okay, it's August and the sky's a bit grey, but I've got to say the fields we're travelling through, very, very dry. Look at this, and it's just absolutely just dust. And that's all we've seen, isn't it, Captain, in every field we've been to. So it's rained, it's not, it's rained, it's not, but it's been lovely so far. You can hear that wind and it's keeping us cool as we chuff along. It's absolutely lovely. Look at that vista, absolutely magical. It's also worth noting that signage is very, very good. So we know where we're going to be, we know which direction to head. There we go. This way to Kington. A very changeable day. Coats on again then, plenty of shelter in the trees, and I think this is another passing heavy shower, but we'll see. So back on the top of the actual earthwork dike itself, as it runs along here, displayed on the OS map. So back in the day, Wales to the right, England to the left as we move south. Absolutely wonderful. These trees, oaks and ash, hundreds of years old.
You don't want to walk down here with the storm blowing.
No, you wouldn't. Strong westerly. I must say though, fantastic scenery, just rolling and rolling and rolling. something to see in every direction. You know, there's a cluster of trees there on some kind of edge of a quarry. Absolutely fantastic. And I think just here is where the captain and I are going to have the third and last ascent today, along the ridge of the next hill and then down into Kington. It's been marvellous so far. Absolutely 10 out of 10, even with the rain, because we're not bothered. It's a little narrow, but I think it's better than being on the road. Here we go. So that you were asking earlier, weren't you, Captain? Are we in England or Wales? That was Wales. So now, look at the sign. We're back in England for a bit. Welcome to England. We'll be crossing back into Wales in a little bit. So our way continues, and I think we're going to start to curve around one of the last fells here and then down to Kington. But in the meantime, the sort of texture of the scenery has changed again. Bracken covered rolling sort of gentle fell, bit of pine in the distance, and everything's tickety-boo, isn't it, Captain? We've really enjoyed today.
Absolutely.
It's been marvellous. It's going to change again as we come down over the next hill into Kington. In the meantime, we just keep picking up, putting them down. So, final part of this final hill before we get into Kington. Just taking a minute to admire the view. Absolutely glorious. Just tree smothered hills as far as the eye can see with a bit of farmland in between. It's absolutely wonderful. I don't think we're too far off the summit of this, where we're going to take 10, then a gentle descent into Kington. The sky's dried up a bit of blues come out, and that bodes well for tomorrow, I'd say. It looks like that way goes somewhere else, Captain, and we're going to take this onto the brow, and I think it's going to be take 5 and a gentle jaunt down into Kington. Fantastic. Look at those hills for the next part of the journey. Amazing. Yeah, I think you'll agree as places just take 5 go. This is up there with the best of them. Look at that. Yeah. Worth every step. I'm still amazed that here on top of this hill, just before we go down into Kington, the Dyke is still here, the earthwork wall to keep the Welsh out. Mile after mile. It really is very, very impressive. If I just take a moment just to come to the back to the top of the Dyke, and just in every direction, the rolling hills, it's absolutely fantastic. Just see from here every direction. It really is quite jaw-dropping. Just before we start to lose it,
As you were saying,
lose our footing down a rabbit hole. That could have been worse.
yeah.
I have to cut that. So just before we start our descent into Kington, I just think it's worth just sharing with you in every direction as the captain sort of chuffs along on the path down to Kington, in every direction, just the gently rolling hills, and it really is quite spectacular. You can just see the way we've come and the Dyke coming round in its arc and continuing down this way, and it really is quite special. Every direction, rolling hills from horizon to horizon. And I have to say, as a first day to try and fit in 13-14 miles after getting off the train, it was worth coming and trying to squeeze this into just what is essentially half a day after getting off the train. Look at that, just over the Dyke there, rolling along next to me, still at this point only about 3 foot high, 4 foot high, but just the rolling hills in every direction. Marvellous. So there we go, that's essentially the rolling hills done for today. All that remains is just to get Kington in our sights now and just to wander down to the town and get a bit of a drink and put our feet up. So thanks for joining us, it's been great.
Awesome.
Been awesome, seen some fantastic things, and we're just gonna start descending now. This beautiful bit of a coppice here. What a fantastic day. Places we've never seen, never been, and I think, to be honest, I've been completely impressed throughout, haven't you?
Yeah.
Great. Well, next up, Kington. That's one of the best days of new places I think I've been. Wasn't sure what to expect. I know I've seen some of it on YouTube, but this has been an absolutely marvellous. Yeah. And here we are. Well, there we are. Time to put our feet up. 13 miles. Thanks for joining the captain and I. It's now time for a drink and a sit down.